Hello friends, today we are scrapping together a storage solution for my knitting needles. I know that my channel is primarily a vintage sewing channel, but in the past month or two I have been just really into knitting, and so that's why you're getting a little bit more of the craft content versus the vintage sewing content, and quite frankly, I don't need 1,000 vintage dresses. That's just not something that's necessary for me, so it works out. Because I was primarily a crocheter and only had some knitting needles from thrifting fabric that just came with knitting needles, they were kind of tucked under a bookshelf that had a little bit of room. They were just kind of tucked there. Then when I got into knitting, I suddenly was not able to just tuck them neatly away under a bookshelf. I need a better storage solution. I thought that the best storage solution for me would be to make like a little binder with fabric pages with pockets in them that I could put my needles in and flip through them to go from the smallest size to the largest size, and then have the straights in one section and then the circulars in another section. Theoretically, all we're going to need is a piece of paper or notebook for measuring size and hole distance, scrap fabric, hole punchy, binder, needles, eyelets, fusible iron-on interfacing, once again still that cheap stuff from the thrift store, ironing pad, and iron. So the reason why I chose the fabric that I did is because I hate it. It's extremely thin. I'm pretty sure it's like a cotton poly blend. It doesn't feel great. That's basically it. And I was trying to figure out ways to get rid of it for a while, including just wrapping up random loaves of homemade bread and giving them to people in that scrappy fabric. Love you, Mel. She got free bread out of the deal. She's fine. But the fabric is really thin, floopy, just not great to work with. I need to stiffen it. And I have that double-sided interfacing that we got from Goodwill. This is a great way to use it up. I forgot to mention scissors, so here we got some scissors and some pinking shears just in case. So a couple weeks back I was doing my pillowcases, and somebody asked if they could have the dimensions. They said that they wished that they had the dimensions for the squares that were used. Since these squares were just given to me pre-cut, I didn't have as much say over what I could cut out with them. Some of the squares were 2 feet by 2 feet, some of them were 2 feet by 2.5. If you have been following this channel for a while, you might notice that this is a new iron. Yes, I did finally replace the 15-year-old chipped to all heckaroony and would not hold a charge iron. It was used up until its very last days, but it is no more. This is a new iron and I am trying to keep it nice, clean, pristine. So we are not doing the double-sided interfacing all the way to the edge because I don't want to accidentally get goo on the nice brand new iron. We want to keep this a nice happy iron as long as we can, because that old iron was really used and abused and I do not want to go back to that. Okay, so I folded down the top edge of one of the squares and folded it up so that it is, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 the way to the top, and that's how it looks on the piece of paper. As you can see, I still have enough room on the sides to hole punch through it, and I sewed it right down the middle. Then discovered, where is my little package? I originally thought that I was going to just have those be 2 pockets, and a 2-pocket page would allow for those packages of the circular needles, but I could not see the size of the circular needles. Like, the package went all the way down, I could not see the size. But because my circular needles have the sizes in paint, I'm afraid that eventually the paint's gonna wear off and I won't know what size it is, and that's gonna be a pain in the butt to deal with. So I would rather them just stay in the packaging, so they had to be for the straight needles. It would be up to here on the package. So I sewed 2 more channels, so that fits the straight needles pretty well. This is pinked, so it's not, and has the double-sided interfacing, so it's not going to fray. I'm going to probably hole punch on this side and the little bit that we cut off of that one, but I'm going to sew along here, this edge, and that is going to be my inside, and this is going to be for my shallow pocket that you can be able to see the package sticking out of, so you know which size needles are actually going to be in this pocket. Let's go. The next couple pages, I just took those like 6-inch strips that we cut off and created little pockets out of those 6-inch strips, and I can definitely still see the label on the circular needle packages now, so we are trying to mitigate the potential for problems before they arise. Additional tools, yay! We used a Sharpie as well. I took that notebook with holes in them and marked out where the holes would be exactly from the notebook onto our fabric pages. With our little eyelets, that doesn't allow for as much wiggle room. They're tiny. They're tiny little guys. Then I used my little punchy tool to punch out the fabric. After using the hole punchy, it punched out not 100% though, so we had to come in with the awl, A-W-L, awl. It is a pokey tool. It is a pokey tool. The awl is a pokey tool, and it is used to poke and separate the bits of the fabric away from each other, little threads. It just goes and opens it up so that we could stick the little eyelet in and actually crush it down into place. I am thinking about making a corseted bunny suit later because I want to be a cute bunny. For that project, I would say definitely use the awl instead of the hole punchy, because you don't want the eyelets to accidentally snag your fabric and rip it up that way. It creates slightly weaker holes, but since we're only using it for fabric pages in this context, I think it's fine. For the bunny suit or corseture, I would definitely suggest not using the awl instead of the hole punchy, but we use the hole punchy this time. I then filled pockets up with all different kinds of needles. Of course, some pockets have multiple chunks of needles in them, some do not. It just depends, and this does allow for room for the collection to grow, because it would be silly, as I stand in front of a collection of craft supplies, to say that this collection will never grow again. The last step, of course, is to find a good spot amongst my craft supplies to keep this new storage solution. So this is my storage solution for my knitting needles, and a peek at a storage solution for all my other craft supplies as well. Thank you so much for watching. What are your storage solutions? I've seen a couple people have knitting needles on their walls, and I think that that's pretty neat, but what are you doing? Let me know down below with any questions, comments, or concerns. New videos should be out on Fridays, but not every Friday though, so feel free to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you know when I actually do post. And like always, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye. I'm not good at talking. I'm not good at talking. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Collection of craft supplies everywhere.